Right now, your phone is within arm's reach. Maybe it's in your pocket. Maybe it's face down on the table beside you. And in the next few minutes, without even deciding to, you're going to feel the pull to check it. You'll tell yourself it's about the message you're waiting for. It isn't. The real answer is far stranger. Your brain does not crave information. It craves uncertainty. Think about the last time you refreshed an app for no reason. There was no notification, no red dot. You just felt an itch and you scratched it. That itch has a name, and it was discovered decades before the first smartphone existed. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran an experiment with pigeons and levers. One group of pigeons got a food pellet every single time they pressed the lever. Simple, predictable. They pressed it when they were hungry, and otherwise they left it alone. But another group got food at random intervals. Sometimes the lever worked immediately. Sometimes it took 10 presses, sometimes 20, and those pigeons didn't just press the lever more. They became obsessed with it. They pressed it compulsively for hours, even when they weren't hungry at all. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. Unpredictable rewards create far stronger compulsions than guaranteed ones. Your phone runs on that exact schedule. Every time you unlock it, you don't know what you'll find. Maybe nothing. Maybe a message that makes your whole day better. That uncertainty is not a side effect of the design. It is the design. But why would an unpredictable reward hook a pigeon or a person more powerfully than a predictable one? For that, you have to look inside the brain itself. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz was recording the brain activity of monkeys as they learned to expect a reward. At first, dopamine fired when the reward arrived. That made sense. But as the monkeys learned the pattern, something shifted. The dopamine spike moved earlier. It stopped firing at the reward and started firing at the cue that predicted it. And when the reward became uncertain, when it only showed up sometimes, the dopamine response didn't shrink. It grew. Dopamine, it turns out, isn't really a pleasure chemical. It's a prediction chemical. It fires hardest in the gap between not knowing and finding out. That gap is where your phone lives. Every unlock is a tiny gamble, and your brain treats that gamble like it matters. Here's the part that should feel uncomfortable. Your brain wasn't built for a world where thousands of strangers, algorithms, and companies can pull that lever for you, all day, every day. For nearly all of human history, uncertainty meant something real. Was that rustle in the grass a predator? Did that neighboring tribe mean peace or war? Your nervous system evolved to lock onto uncertainty because uncertainty used to be a matter of survival. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has spent decades studying how human brains evolved for small, tightly bonded social groups, typically no more than 150 people. In that world, checking in on your social standing wasn't optional. Who's talking about you? Who's upset with you? Who might exclude you from the group? That vigilance kept you fed, protected, and alive. Your brain rewarded you for constantly scanning your social environment, because in a group of 150, every relationship was a resource you couldn't afford to lose. Now take that exact same wiring and hand it a device connected to billions of people. Your brain can't tell the difference between a notification from a stranger on the other side of the planet and a rustle from someone in your ancestral tribe. It reacts the same way. Heart rate ticks up. Attention narrows. The urge to check becomes almost physical. You are not weak-willed. You are running ancient software on hardware it was never designed to handle. Neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky has described this mismatch directly. He's shown that the anticipation of a reward, not the reward itself, is what drives the most intense dopamine activity in the brain. Waiting for a text back lights up your brain more than the text arriving ever will. That's why the seconds after you send a message, watching for the 3 dots, can feel almost unbearable. Your brain isn't waiting for information. It's waiting for resolution to uncertainty, and it will do almost anything to get it. So what does this mean for the moment you pick your phone up without thinking? It means you're not checking it because you're bored or lonely or weak. You're checking it because a machine built by teams of engineers, designers, and behavioral scientists has learned to speak the exact language your brain evolved to respond to. Infinite scroll removes the natural stopping point your ancestors always had. A conversation ends, a hunt ends, a day ends, a feed never does. Push notifications mimic the unpredictable social cues your brain was built to prioritize above almost everything else. Likes and comments arrive on a random schedule, the same schedule that turned Skinner's pigeons into compulsive lever pressers. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's a flaw in the fit between ancient instincts and modern tools. Evolutionary biologists call this an evolutionary mismatch, when a trait that was once adaptive becomes maladaptive because the environment around it changed faster than the trait could. Your sweet tooth is a mismatch. It kept your ancestors alive when calories were scarce, and now it sits beside a vending machine. Your attention to unpredictable social cues is a mismatch too. It kept your ancestors safe inside a group of 150, and now it sits beside a platform built for billions. Does knowing this change anything? It changes what the urge means. The next time you feel the pull to check your phone with no real reason, you're not failing at self-control. You're feeling a 200,000-year-old alarm system respond to a signal it was never built to filter out. Some people have found that simply naming this moment, recognizing it as your brain gambling on uncertainty rather than seeking information, is enough to loosen its grip, if only slightly. Others turn off notifications entirely, restoring at least one boundary your ancestors never had to fight for in the first place. A boundary that used to be set by nightfall or hunger, or simple physical distance from other people. None of this means the pull will disappear. Skinner's pigeons never stopped pressing the lever. The unpredictable reward was too powerful, wired too deep. But you're not a pigeon in a box. You're a person who can, at least sometimes, see the box for what it is. So the next time your phone is within arm's reach, and you feel that quiet, wordless urge rise up, pause for just a second. It isn't your discipline slipping. It's the oldest part of your brain. The part built to survive in small tribes on open plains, mistaking a glowing rectangle for the rustle of grass. And once you see it clearly, that rustle stops sounding like danger and starts sounding like what it actually is. An echo calling out from a world that no longer exists.